All this bullshit you see is absolute crap. So have you guys ever seen these videos on YouTube and Instagram where these chicks are approached by this beta cut guy? She completely blows him off. And then he walks over to a Lamborghini and she's like, oh, you have a Lamborghini? I didn't realize. And you know what those videos are? 100% unequivocally fake. I have yanked gold diggers and I didn't give them a fucking penny. Women are attracted to a man who, yes, has resources, but doesn't shoot them all over her face thinking it's gonna get him laid. You can lock me in a padded room with the chick. We'll joke around and thank God that place is padded because we're gonna need those pads when we have crazy butt-naked monkey sex.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. And today, boys, we are going to talk about gold diggers, how to avoid them, and how to go on dates for much less than you think you have to spend. And I'm going to tell you why it is that spending a lot of money on a first date is actually a bad idea. It's going to actually make her lose attraction for you. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. Got a ton of content to drop in your lap, boys. Let's get into it. So first of all, gold diggers. Have you guys ever seen these videos on YouTube and Instagram where these chicks are approached by this kind of like beta cut guy and he's like, hey girl, how are you? And she completely blows him off. And then he walks over to a Lamborghini and she's like, oh, you have a Lamborghini? I didn't realize. And he's like, well, what about earlier? You blew me out. And she's like, don't worry about that. Guys, you know what those videos are? 100% unequivocally fake. F-A-K-E. They're completely and utterly staged. So if you think that's the way life really works, where a girl's gonna blatantly blow out a dude and then accept him when she realizes that he has a Lamborghini, you're just buying into the media and the clickbait that they want you to watch. When's the last time you've been walking down the street and just saw an absolute fucking 10 right there at the gas station or like in a parking lot? Come on, bro. Come on. Girls don't dress that way typically in public unless they're on the way to the nightclub or they happen to get off a modeling gig. And what are the chances homeboy with the Lamborghini just happened to have a camera there when that chick walked out of the hotel and blew him off? It's complete and utter bullshit. This gives guys like you the misconception that all girls want is nice cars, money, and they want you to be rich. That being said, there are a small percentage of girls who are gold diggers, and I'm going to tell you how to avoid these chicks. First of all, boys, and you know this, don't advertise your money on the dating apps if you don't want girls digging for your gold. If you're flexing your Lamborghini, your Rolexes, and your yachts, what kind of girls is that going to attract? Yes, you want to show a successful lifestyle. Yes, you want to show that you have abundance in your life, but you don't want to advertise because girls will pick up on that and gold diggers will be attracted to it. Furthermore, how many times have I seen in the nightclubs dudes rolling in with their Ferrari hat on or like flexing their Rolex, or in the first 3 sentences, they talk about how they're a plastic surgeon. If you telegraph that you have money early, trying to prove to her that you're valuable enough to get her attention, she is going to want that money. Now, that begs the question. Are girls attracted to guys with money? Yes, they are, but here's the caveat. They're attracted to money because money is a symbol of ambition, drive, and risk-taking, all of which are attractive qualities in a man. So if you demonstrate that via your confidence, your tonality, your storytelling, and controlling the frame, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, she will get attracted to you even if you have zero money. I have a lot of guys who listen to my podcast who don't have a lot of money. And they're like, well, how can I get a girl if I can't even afford to take her on a date? I'm going to get into that in a second. Stay tuned because that information too is really important. So lesson number 1, don't be a fucking lure for a bass that is specifically going after that lure. What that means is don't display your money in a way that is going to attract gold diggers. Now, if you go on a date with a girl and she happens to notice that you have money and she starts doing gold digging type qualities, what do you do in that situation? Well, let me ask you this. Can a bum just suck money out of your pocket into his cup when he's begging for money? Of course not. So how is it that you guys are so afraid of gold diggers when all you have to say are the 2 magic letters in the alphabet? N-O, no. Buy me this purse, she says. No, I'm not going to buy you this purse. Why don't you buy me a wallet? Or she's like, I only go out to nice dinners on the first date. You say, cool, where are you taking me? So you flip the frame, show her like, I'm not buying into this gold digging kind of shit. Now, if you guys are talking to a girl and she does that kind of stuff to you, and you make these jokes such as, cool, where you taking me, when she tries to get you to take her to a nice dinner, she has two options. She can either blow you out, which, yes, if she's a gold digger, it's going to happen 75% of the time, or 25% of the time she's going to get more attracted to you because you're showing her the quintessential rule I always talk about. You are not to be fucked with. You are not going to bend over, placate, fluff her feathers, or blow smoke up her ass. And you are definitely not going to try to buy her attention. Because here's the thing, boys. Women will lose respect for you. Why? First of all, it shows that you don't believe you're enough in just your conversation and presence. I will take girls to the top of a parking garage, break out some Cokes or some beers or whatever it is you want to do. That's the date. Then I'll turn on some music. We'll do some country swing dancing. We're talking. I have enough confidence in my date skills to be able to entertain her with my conversation alone. I don't need to buy nice dates. I don't need to placate to her, blow smoke up her ass, and fluff her feathers. If she doesn't like it, she could kick rocks with her head down. And here's the thing, boys. A lot of girls will like it. Let me ask you this. What does it telegraph when you try to buy a girl a nice date? It telegraphs that you don't think you're enough. You're not confident enough in your dating skills to be able to provide an experience for her that's of value. Instead, you're trying to purchase the experience, thus communicating you don't think you're enough. And if she sees that you're trying to spend a lot of money on her, she might feel like she's a prostitute. Why is this guy thinking that he's going to blow a bunch of money on me? Does he think that if he spends enough money on me, buying me nice dinners, purses, and nice watches, I'm going to have sex with him? I'm not a prostitute. Why is he treating me that way? And it can actually backfire on you. So the key, of course, is if she tries to do gold digger shit, you put the kibosh on it. I had a girl once tell me, you're cheap, because I wouldn't buy her something, like some nice purse. She's like, can you buy me this purse or like boots or some shit? And I'm like, no, why don't you buy me a wallet? While we're at it, yeah, I'll buy you the purse, but I want you to buy me an equal wallet at Louis Vuitton. How's that sound? No, you're so cheap. And I'm like, hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever not given a homeless man money? And she's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, do you think that he had the right to call you cheap? And she's like, well, no. And I'm like, exactly. Besides, who's cheap here? You're asking me for money. I'm saying no. So am I cheap or are you cheap? So you could throw it back at them. Yeah, boys, 75% of the time they're going to get lost. But dude, she's a gold digger. You don't want her in your life anyway. 25% of the time they're going to acquiesce, go into their feminine energy, realize that you're right because you're not trying to buy her attention, buy her time, thus turning her essentially into a prostitute. She's going to respect you more because of it. So what's the secret to get over the gold diggers? Don't let them get into your wallet, dog. Simply say the two magic letters in the alphabet. N-O. No. Can you buy me this thing? No. Can you take me to this dinner? No. And maybe she'll ghost you on the dating apps. Or you get her phone number at a nightclub and you text her and she's like, hey, I only like to go to Mastro's on the first date. And you're like, sweet, when are you taking me? And she's like, no, silly, I want you to take me. You'd be like, nah. What we're doing on the first date is we're going to go ahead and get some coffee and conversation. If you don't like that, kick rocks with your head down. You wouldn't say that, but you would say, hey, listen, we're going to go to coffee. And if we can't entertain each other with our conversation, we have no justifiable reason to continue dating. Wouldn't you agree? She might ghost you, but many times she'll say, yeah, I agree. I have yanked gold diggers that were hot AF, and I didn't give them a fucking penny. And if they kept bothering me about it, there's the door. Kick rocks with your head down. If all you want out of this relationship is my money, then I'm not the guy for you. So what's the secret, boys? You simply don't do it. Get it through your thick head. You are not placating to these gold diggers, and you are not advertising on the dating apps your Ferrari, your Rolex, your Rolls Royce, and your yacht because you're going to attract gold diggers. You are telegraphing a high value lifestyle, that you're alpha, that you're a champion. Yeah, some pre-selection, meaning being surrounded by other women, not in a sexual way, but you have women in your life. All these things telegraph the positive attributes that you want to telegraph. That you're alpha, but you're not trying to buy your way into her panties, which so many guys would do. Here's a little story for you boys. When I lived in Hawaii, I was a Japanese translator. Some of you guys know I lived in Japan for 4 years. When I went to Hawaii, I was a Japanese translator on a boat. And I worked in the 5-star sunset dinner cruise Waikiki experience, where people literally drop $700 a head to go on a cruise in front of Waikiki with half of them getting seasick by the end. Such a waste of money. One time, though, we saw some freaking whales jumping out on a completely pristine day with the sun setting. It was pretty gangster. Those people got their money's worth, but most people didn't. And here's what I saw time and time again, specifically one case. I had one dude who's there with this girl, and he's just like a 25-year-old white guy, kind of looked a little goofy. Girl was okay. She was like a 7. And so they're sitting there, and my job was to go up to the tables and be like, hey, what's up? Where are you guys from, etc. So I go up, introduce myself, tell them about the cruise, and I'm like, oh, how long have you guys been together? Are you celebrating something special, like a 1-year anniversary or some kind of milestone? What's going on? Homeboy literally looks at me, and he's like, it's our first date. And I was like, bro, you are about to get blown out so hard, your freaking toupee is going to launch off your head when the concussion hits. Why is that? Again, she loses respect for you when you spend a lot of money on her. Of all, because she thinks that, why does he have to have this nice experience? Can't he entertain me on his own? And secondly, how desperate is this dude that he has to spend a lot of money on a girl on the first effing date? Very desperate. It shows nothing but low value. It shows that he doesn't get lots of girls, because dudes like me and you who are literally doing 5 dates a week, we don't have the money to invest into $700 on each date, nor the time, frankly. So the second he told me it's our first date, I was like, oh my God, you're getting so blown out. What did I see throughout the night? She's not really touching him. She's kind of ignoring him. He's following her around like a puppy dog. They get in the limousine, which, by the way, I opened the door for them, let him out, took him to the limousine. She sat all the way across from him. Blown the fuck out. So even if you do have money, do not spend a lot of money on a woman on the first date, for God's sakes, boys. It should be so simple, very eclectic and cool, but based on your conversation, based on your game, showing her a good time. I talked to my friend Angel today. We were talking about a first date she went on, and she's like, yeah, it was like an interview. And I was like, oh, is that why you blew him out? And she's like, yeah, it was so boring. And I was like, of course, he didn't elicit emotions. If you're interviewing her or trying to show how good you are by having her interview you, you're going to get blown out. Women get attracted via emotions, making her laugh, telling stories, taking her on an experience. Yes, boys, even to the top of a ghetto-ass parking garage, opening the trunk, playing some music, and teaching her how to swing dance is a million times better than the sunset dinner cruise in front of Waikiki, where homeboy's filling her up with lobster and steak, and half the time these chicks are roughing all over the place. Literally, guys. I have seen a woman run from her table to the bathroom, and it had like low ceilings in the boat. She threw up and it hit the fucking ceiling. I saw it. And I called my boy Joe, who was like the janitor. I'm like, what's up, Joe? We got a good one for you, bro. The girl vomited on the ceiling. Get up here. So he comes up and he's like, motherfucker, one of these again? And he's like cleaning between the tiles on the ceiling, just so bummed out. The sunset dinner cruise, the Mastro's experience, you trying to buy a good experience for her is going to get you blown out. Now this comes down to saving money. Guys, when you're killing it, as most of my clients are, you are going on at least 3 dates a week, sometimes 5, sometimes fucking 10. I remember my record, I went on 12 dates in 1 week. I was so smoke checked. I had to have a spreadsheet to remember what I told all these chicks. Did I tell this chick this story or this chick this story? I had to like make notes in my phone. Do you think me going on 12 dates, spending $100 a date would be a wise decision? That's $1,200 a week, almost $5,000 per month. Hell no, dude. Guys, you can go on a free date if you want to. And this is what you guys who have no money should do. Go on a walk in a botanical garden, for example. Go watch the sunset together, for example. Or do the old top of the parking garage with the trunk open and music playing as you teach her how to swing dance, example. Teach her how to skateboard, teach her how to surf, go for a walk on the beach, go for a hike together, go for a bike ride together. All these things are free. And even if you do take her to tapas or to sushi or something like that, which is also a first date that I'll do, I'm going to happy hour. I'm spending as little as possible. Back at that time when I did that 12 dates in 1 week, I had a date that was $10. And another tip for you guys is repeat the same date over and over and over again so you got it locked in. If you go to a restaurant, for example, clue in the staff. Hey guys, kind of a pickup artist. You know, I've been listening to the Unapologetic Man podcast. I even joined Mark Singh's program and I'm getting more ass in the toilet seat. So just so you know, I'm going to be bringing lots of girls in here. So don't like let the cat out of the bag, right? Like, keep your mouth zipped up. I'll tip you real well. Just shut up about it. Don't be like, hey, weren't you in here yesterday with like 3 different girls on 3 different dates? What's up with you? Keep it buttoned, bro, and I will tip you well. But even tipping them well is like, $3, $4, $5. You get out for $15. This is a lot more affordable than you guys think it is, because again, when you try to spend a lot of money on a girl, you telegraph low value. You make her into what is essentially a prostitute, trying to buy her time, buy her attention, and even buy her sex. And you're showing by investing lots of money that you don't feel like you're enough. You don't have enough game, enough frame, enough stories to spit, enough gambits to spit, enough entertaining material. You can lock me in a padded room with the chick, and I will get her attracted to me. I'll just run gambits, I'll tell stories, we'll joke around, and thank God that place is padded, because we're going to need those pads when we have crazy, butt-naked monkey sex. Because game overcomes money every single time. So how do you avoid the gold diggers? Don't advertise to them. When one comes around and tries to question you, say the magic word NO. If she tries to say you're cheap, tell her she's cheap and see what she does. Many times they'll convert and get more attracted to you, and the whole gold digger thing is off the table. Now you have a hot girl who's wearing Louis Vuitton and Gucci, which some other dude bought her, and she's your dude, and you don't need to spend money on her. Now, in time, once you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend, or you have a relationship, sure, you can spend some money on her. But if that's what she's looking for in the beginning because you inadvertently telegraphed it, do not give it to her. Refuse it. And if you go on a date with a girl who isn't even a gold digger, don't try to spend a lot of money on her because it looks try hard. She may say, oh, he's cheap and that's unattractive. Bullshit. Being frugal with your money and not blasting it on a girl is attractive. The only reason she would say it's not is because she wants that money and she's trying to guilt trip you into spending it on her. So don't get it twisted, boys. All these Instagram videos, these YouTube memes, all this bullshit you see is absolute crap. Women are attracted to survivability. They're attracted to a man who holds the line, who is not to be fucked with, who, yes, has resources, but doesn't shoot them all over her face thinking it's going to get him laid, and who is willing to say no to a girl who is asking for too much. I can guarantee you, boys, it's going to make them respect you more and increase the chances of you getting success. So how to avoid gold diggers, how to spend as little money as possible on a date, all possibilities. And in fact, my recommendation is to spend as little as possible on the first date. Create the experience with your game. Don't create the experience with your money. Gentlemen, I hope this episode has been enlightening for you. As a reminder, I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode.